There are two kinds of smugglers in this world. Those who transport goods, and those who smuggle hearts. Me, I don't care what's in the hold. As long as there's a little money in it, I'll smuggle anything at all. Anything, no matter how dangerous it is. I didn't think I'd see them again so soon. Figured they'd had enough of the sand sea on their last trip. I guess it's true some people just never learn. So, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you folks are headed toward the Autumn Continent too. And as luck would have it, I happen to have a few goods on board that I'm taking in that direction. It only makes sense for me to make sure you get there, don't you think?
Well, we can't afford to pay you. We're broke, Kuma.
I guess I'm willing to let you work it off. The deck and cabins could really use a thorough cleaning. Come to think of it, the kitchen has been pretty filthy lately. So, how about it? You get those places cleaned up before we get to the Autumn Continent and you don't have to pay me a thing.
Really? It's a lucky thing we're not afraid of a little hard work.
Hold on. Since when do you speak for all of us?
Salvation Committee, Kuma!
Come on, shouldn't you start firing at them?
If this was a warship, I probably would, but this is a cargo vessel. We don't really carry too many anti-torpedo weapons on board.
You know you don't stand a chance against us, you dirty smuggling dogs. Now hand over the goods quietly and nobody gets hurt.
They wouldn't be here if they weren't looking for something, Kuma, but it sure isn't us.
I've seen that mark. It's for the Golden Lions.
I'm running out of patience, so get a move on with those goods or we'll put the torpedo square in the hull of your pathetic little ship.
Wait a minute. That's the World Destruction Committee. Well, look at that. I'm killing 2 sand whales with 1 torpedo. What a great day!
The submarine crew has just captured the World Destruction Committee. They happen to be traveling aboard an unlucky smuggler ship at the time.
They must have been trying to make their way to the Autumn Continent. I can't help but be a little disappointed that you and I didn't capture them first.
The submarine received an anonymous tip that the Golden Lions would be trying to smuggle some goods onto the Autumn Continent. They were attempting to seize those goods before they reached their final destination.
Why does any of that matter?
It could give us a hint as to who leaked the information. It's just a hunch. Anyways, I think it would be best if we recovered the destruct code from the submarine as quickly as possible.
So, what do the 3 of you know about the Golden Lions?
That they're a meaningless resistance group?
Meaningless, huh? I guess that's not completely inaccurate.
Mind telling us why you were smuggling such dangerous goods, Kuma? Are you a member of the Resistance too, Kuma?
No, I don't have anything to do with those guys. Like I said before, I don't care what the work is as long as it pays enough. Even so, once I take on a job, I always see it through to the very end. It's the only code I live by. I've never taken on cargo I couldn't deliver, until now.
Hope that means you have a plan, Kuma.
What's with the yelling in there? Come on, knock it off!
Please, help me!
We'll try to keep it down!
I'm sorry, sir. The World Destruction Committee has escaped from the brig.
Have they? Well, it isn't like they've got anywhere they can run, right?
Captain, there's a sand ship dead ahead coming right for us.
Tried to steal my glory, is that it? We'll see about that. Submerge.
What idiots. Let's go.
We're submerging! We're gonna be trapped in here!
I'd be careful around those if I were you. The fact that you took those crates on as cargo tells me you have no idea what's inside.
What are you talking about? I'm a smuggler. We're not known for being picky about what goods we move, if the price is right.
Good, because the weaponry is only a cover. Here, look.
Is that a...
You mean you're smuggling a bomb, Kuma?
Yes. I had assumed they might try something like this.
You saw this coming. How?
It's not really surprising. The Golden Lions are known for their strategy. All they had to do was find a smuggler foolish enough to accept their cargo, tip off the Beastmen, wait for them to confiscate the goods, and then... kaboom!
Okay, but was the foolish thing really necessary?
I didn't know that they were so evil.
Is there any reason that we haven't gotten rid of the bomb already?
Kirie's right! We've got to surface now, Kuma!
Not so fast. You're not going anywhere. These people are my hostages. And this is my hull. So don't think a bunch of fancy lies will convince me to hand them over.
Perish the thought.
Don't just stand there. What am I paying you for? Get over there and capture the World Destruction Committee.
What do you think we should do?
Guess we don't have much choice. Now it's up to us to try to defuse this bomb.
I think it's about to blow!
Run for your life, Kuma!
Leah, what are you doing? Hurry up!
Hey! Let us in! This isn't funny!
Run! Save yourself!
Wait! Don't leave me!
Kirie! No good. Get the hatch off of him.
We don't have much time.
He doesn't seem to be breathing. Does anybody know CPR?
Hey, don't look at me. I wouldn't even know where to start. It's your idea. You do it.
I would try, but I can't. I don't know how.
What are you looking at me for? I'm not the one who suggested we save this guy.
Guess it's up to me then, Kuma.
Toppy.
bear?
All right, kid. Time to save your life.
Toppy! What the heck was that for?
Oh, please, don't flatter yourself. I was just doing CPR.
Kirie!
Leah!
Over here, quick! We've got to get out of here.
I think we'll be safe in here for the time being.
But what about Kirie and the rest?
They managed to get behind another one of the hatches just in time. You're all probably okay.
We're here.
Where's that?
She's there.
Leah, are you all right?
I was a little shaken up, but I'm okay. I'm with the World Destruction Committee, kid, and... the bear.
I'm not a stinking bear, Kuma!
I'm glad to hear it. Everyone is fine on our end, too. It would appear that we finally reached the bottom of the Sand Sea.
Well, let's head to the surface.
Not yet. The engine still isn't responding.
Any chance at resurfacing we might have had was probably lost during that explosion.
Are you trying to tell me we're trapped at the bottom of the Sand Sea with no way out?
If we don't come up with some kind of plan soon, the weight of that sand is gonna crush us, Kuma.
That's only if we don't use up all our air before then.
I guess you're gonna have to call for some help. But if you tell anybody who we are, you're dead.
I don't have any means of communication. And even if I did, there's no one who could get to us in time, much less do anything to help.
What do you mean by that?
The submarine is a fairly recent development created by the Clocktown engineers. So recent that we're aboard the only submarine in the entire world right now.
Hey, I've got an idea. Why don't we just swim out?
That's the absolute dumbest thing I've ever heard.
We're under millions of tons of sand. We'd all be crushed the second we open the door.
Still, there must be something we can do. I think it's safe to assume that none of us want to die down here, so why don't we call it a truce, all right?
Isn't there any way to escape, like an emergency escape vessel?
There isn't anything that sophisticated.
What was the plan when something like this happened?
We were supposed to prevent it before something like this ever happened.
I wonder how far away from the surface we are. I bet we can make it up to the top if we hold our breath. Oh, Toppy, why don't you hold onto my neck and breathe into my mouth like you did before, and that way I'll have enough air to get to the surface.
You are not using me as an oxygen tank, Kuma!
Wait, I've got an even better idea. We'll grab that toilet bowl. I can use it as a helmet, and there'll be some air trapped inside so I can breathe normally all the way to the top. It's foolproof.
I already told you you'd be crushed as soon as you opened the hatch. Are you stupid or are you deaf? I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
The cabin where the explosion occurred is in the stern of the ship, but the bow, where the engine is located, didn't sustain any damage at all. So if the controls are the only thing preventing us from being able to surface, then our best bet would be finding the engine room and restarting it manually.
Okay, but how are we supposed to get there in the first place? All the passageways are completely flooded with sand.
If we can reach this duct, we have a chance.
It might work if that wasn't a ventilation duct. No way any of us are fitting in there.
I can't believe I'm doing this. They're treating me like some pathetic regular bear, not with the respect a full-blooded dwarf bear deserves. Come on.
Do you think Toppy will be okay?
Now we just have to pray that the duct doesn't get flooded with sand.
It'll be all right. We did the right thing by putting our faith in that little bear.
I'm not a bear, Kuma.
He made it through.
It was tough, but I made it to the engine room.
Good. Now follow the instructions I gave you and see if you can restart the engine.
You can count on me, Kuma. This is never gonna work, Kuma.
What's the problem, Toppy?
The fuel tank ruptured, Kuma. Looks like all the fuel leaked out and now it's completely empty, Kuma.
Well, I guess that means we're out of options.
There's nothing left to do but sit back and wait to get swallowed up by the sand.
Please forgive my optimism, but if the World Destruction Committee were to perish today, then the World Salvation Committee would have no reason to exist anymore. Mutual annihilation would certainly make for a convenient end.
Don't forget about the foolish smuggler who'd be annihilated too. Come to think of it, this voyage will be the second time in my career I wasn't able to get my cargo where it was supposed to go. The other was a year ago, but I wasn't transporting goods, just a message. I remembered that the client was a member of the Golden Lions, but the kid was far too young to be a part of the Resistance. Now that one was tough. The Kid told me he wanted me to pass along a very important message to his sister, who at the time was living by herself in their hometown. I'm sorry for making you worry, he said. I promise I'll be back someday. But right now, I have to go and change the world. So until I do, please wait for me. Then he ran off with his companions before I even got to ask him his sister's name. He did say this, though. She may be strong-willed and she keeps her true feelings very guarded. But deep down, she's an incredibly gracious person. I've always wondered what happened to that poor kid.
I see you haven't given up, have you?
You promised to deliver that message to the boy's sister, and I won't let you die before you fulfill that promise.
It's useless. If there's no fuel left in the tank, nothing you can do is going to work.
There may not be any fuel in the tank, but there's a small chance that there's some fuel in the engine itself, and it might be just enough to move us a little bit.
Even if you're right and we can move a little bit, we're still at the bottom of the sand sea. Without the ability to surface, either the sand or the lack of oxygen is going to kill us eventually. Something of an incredible size is making contact with our hull.
It couldn't be another submarine, could it? You said this was the only vessel like it in the entire world.
No, it's not a submarine. I know that sound. We've got a sand whale. Okay, Toppy. Go ahead and start up the engine and we'll see how much we can get out of it. It doesn't have to be enough to make it to the surface. We just have to move forward.
Right, you got it, Kuma.
Here we go. Find their prey by sound, and they swallow it whole with the sand around it. Then once they've eaten, they expel the sand. All right, we made it!
It's the Autumn continent.
This is a miracle, Kuma.
Miracles don't have anything to do with it. It was simply another twist of fate.
So what's next, huh? Do you still plan on arresting us?
Morte, be quiet.
Not yet. I think for the moment our truce will remain in effect.
Gotcha!
Farewell.
I suppose it's too much to ask for them to keep that truce indefinitely, Kuma.
Mm-hmm.
Now that that's all settled, I guess I should be heading out.
What? What is it?
Oh, it's nothing. Just happy to have completed another of my missions successfully.
Life on campus is full of changing leaves, baked potatoes, and young love. At Toshigara, the university on the Autumn continent, humans and beastmen live and study together, side by side. But why is Morte acting so strange? Find out next time on Sands of Destruction. There are two kinds of autumns. I don't know, Toppy. What do you think?
A woman's heart is like the autumn sky, Kuma.
What?
Or was that a man's heart, Kuma?
What?